Let's start. Today we'll discuss about AWS load balancers. What are the different types of load balancers available, and what is the use of that, and where we will use which type of load balancers. So basically, if you see here, we have a load balancer section here. So click on load balancing. Whenever you click on load balancing, it will show us the available load balancers. So we have four types of load balancers. So let me clear this. Okay. Okay. So here we will keep our EC2 machine. So here also we will have our EC2. So this is actual our workflow, how it will be in real time also. So under VPC we have multiple availability zones. That is where we are creating multiple subnets in each and every availability zone. And we have a load balancers which is facing to our server traffic, which we are creating and generating the traffic to take this traffic. Okay, this is ELB or ALB, a load balancer. We'll call it as ELB, elastic load balancer. Okay, so what are the different types of load balancers available for us? So AWS ELB, elastic load balancing, load balancer. So types of load balancer, types of load balancer. So we have four types. So first one is classic load balancer, and second one is application load balancer, and third one is network load balancer, and fourth one is gateway load balancer. So classic load balancer is previous generation one, and application and network is currently we are using, and gateway is recently they have introduced in last year December, and this is specific uses specific use case we will use gateway load balancer. Okay, so if you see here, our load balancer is in front of our EC2 machines. So whenever any traffic is coming to our load balancer, first what it will do, it will distribute the incoming traffic to backend EC2 instances. How it will distribute? Let me explain. Okay, assume this is your yeah, this is how actually our application works. So whenever any users on the internet, they will first fetch with the domain name. Assume these are the internet are end users internet. Okay, assume the users are accessing our application. Assume our application is something like www.amazon.com or any other google.com. So whenever they are fetching from the internet, it will first go to the DNS provider. Who is the DNS provider? This also we will see when we are discussing about DNS and other like how to purchase the domains and what is the hosted zones and all, we will verify and we will see and we will create also. Yeah, so it will first hit to the DNS, and DNS will be directly redirected to the load balancer, and from the load balancer we will fetch backend data from the EC2 machines. Okay, so today we will discuss about mainly on load balancer, how this load balancer will work. Okay, so it will distribute incoming traffic evenly to the healthy backend EC2 instances, which are, yeah, already said, right, healthy backend instances. That means, so you first need to understand incoming traffic, so, and evenly to the so these are the main key terms. So incoming traffic and evenly and healthy backends. Okay, three important points here we need to understand. So it is distributing evenly. That means whenever any user is hitting, so it will first send to this EC2 instance. Assume this ELB getting the 50 request. In 50 request, if we are having only 2 availability zones, it will send 25 requests to this instance and remaining 25 requests to this EC2 instance. That means it won't send first 25 to this EC2 and say remaining 25 to this EC2. So it will send evenly, one to this and second to this, like this it will distribute. It is having some mechanism that is called round robin mechanism is there. With the help of that, it will distribute the traffic to the backend targets. So backend targets is nothing but our EC2 instance. This EC2 instance need to be healthy. That means even in backend also our application needs to be up and running in EC2 instance itself. Then only a load balancer will distribute the traffic to the backend targets. That is what I mentioned. It will evenly distribute the traffic to the healthy backend instances. Okay, assume you are having you have created a EC2 instance in only one availability zone. That means whenever we are discussing about auto scaling group, that you will understand. So you kept five instances, as a minimum. Then what will happen? Three instances will create in AZ1, two instances will create in the AZ2. That time what it will happen? So it will distribute evenly to the availability zone wise. It's not how many EC2 instances is there in the backend. It won't worry about how many EC2 instances. So we need to make sure we are creating evenly. If we are using two availability zones, we will go with the four instances. Then it will create two here and two here. Then what will happen? It will distribute evenly to the traffic. Then there is no burden on any one availability zone. Okay, that is how actually it will work. So let us navigate to our EC2 console and we will see. And target groups also we have, right? That's what I mentioned. It is backend targets is nothing but we are adding these EC2 missions to one of the target group, and which is directly sending traffic by AWS load balancer. So let us create first target group. Okay, so where which for okay, before going to target group, let us create EC2 instances. So until EC2 instance needs to be boot up, and that there we need to install application also. So we first it best to install EC2 instances, create EC2 instance, and install the application over there. Okay, just to choose whatever the operating system you like. Yes, go with the free tier eligible one. So because I'm using free tier account, okay, this is what I'm mentioning. So two availability zones is nothing but two subnets here. So first I'm choosing 1A. So public subnet, that is also I'm taking public subnet. Please keep in this mind, public subnet I'm using. Add storage, remaining default things let it be. Review and launch. So just launch this instance, view instance. I will give this one as server 1 because in 1A I write server 1A. I will give 1A. Okay, one first availability zone. Okay, next what I'll do, I'll create one more instance. I'll create one more instances in 1B. Two availability zones I want to create. Sorry, not this one. Launch instance, select so now we need to choose 1B. So here public instance only, public subnet only we need to choose. My public subnet in 1B. Okay, now just add storage, use the default security group which we have already. Okay, then review and launch. Just launch this instance, acknowledge, so that you are having the same key pair when you are launching your EC2 machine. Just launch this one. Once this is done, just view instance, give name to it, server 1B. Okay, just save this. So meanwhile this will initialize, we will go and will create target groups and as well as load balancer. So target groups is simply where we will add our EC2 machines to serve the incoming traffic, and this target group we are directly attaching to the load balancer. So we don't want to worry about how many instances is adding to our load balancer. So we are adding to target groups. We are not directly adding to the load balancer. Target group is directly attached to load balancer. Whenever any new instance is coming to the target group, it will first add to the target group, then load balancer will send to target group itself. It will say verify and send give the healthy status of our EC2 machine. So we have different options here. If you have any specific IP address, then we can go and choose that IP address, or else we can go with the instance or any specific Lambda functions and give a name to it. Test target group, test TZ I am giving, and the port protocol is HTTP or HTTPS, two protocol only. Okay, we have multiple protocols because we are creating a target group. Whenever we are creating a load balancer, we will have this differentiation. So HTTP and HTTPS we will use only for application load balancer. TCP and UDP, TCP, UDP, TLS, this will use for network load balancer, and GenAway is the right. This is the gateway load balancer we will use, that we will see while creating the load balancer. So choose HTTP and port is 80. So target group you are creating. Assume your application is running on 8080 or 8081 or 8082, any other specific port. Then you can give that port here, okay, in HTTP, and give the port specific custom port here, and choose your VPC and choose the your subnets where you want to route the traffic. That is in load balancer we need to choose. Okay, next, and I'll go one step back and I'll come back again. Just previous. Yes, health checks. So this is associated load balancer periodically. Load balancer will send a request as per the settings we are giving here to the register targets to test the status of the target. Target is nothing but in our case EC2 mission. So which protocol it needs to be verify the health status. That is HTTP. HTTP means again we have given the port here. We have given the port here 80 port. So in that port only it will verify. So where this needs to be verified under root directory, or if you have any specific path, you can directly give like this index.html. You can directly give the path, then it will go and verify on a specific application, a specific path or specific file. Okay, and as per our requirement. So now we will go with the root, then it will go and will verify under the root directory. So advanced details. So these are the default configurations which is provided by AWS. So if you want to keep it, you can keep it, or if you want to fine tune your this advanced health check settings, yes, you can do it also. Okay, so traffic port, this is the port where the load balancer used to perform the health status of our EC2 mission. Okay, and healthy threshold, the number of consecutive health checks. That means it will send for every there is some time is there, that time interval is there, right? Okay, time is there for 30 seconds it will verify. So if it is the target is unhealthy, healthy threshold, it is we are discussing, right? Every 30 seconds it will send the request to verify the status of this mission. Okay, if the status of this mission, each and every 30 seconds it will send, and how many times it will send? 5 times it will send. And if all the 5 times it is not healthy, okay, then it will send, okay, this is healthy, this machine is healthy. Same way unhealthy. So the number of consecutive checks, same, it will also send. Only 2 times will send whether the instance is unhealthy or not. Only 2 times it will send, and it will decide as it is an unhealthy one. So we don't want to waste the time. If it is an unhealthy, we don't want to waste the time. Okay, next, timeout. So what is the time it needs to be wait whenever it is sending the request? So it will wait for a 5 seconds. If you want to give more time, like 2 minutes, we have 2 minutes. So if you want to wait for until 2 minutes, you can go and you can give the interval. So this is the approximate time where the between health checks of an individual target is verified. And what is the code you mean to verify? Okay, if you want to give your HTTP codes when checking a successful response from a target, either it needs to be 200, then it needs to be displayed as a healthy or unhealthy. So that depends upon our use case. We can go with 200 or 399. 399 is till 399 is suggestible one. Okay, or 299 as per your requirement. Okay, next I'll go with the default settings and register the targets. This is where we are registering the targets manually here. So two targets I'm taking. So server 1A and server 1B both are taking, both are in running state. So running state missions only you can attach to target group. So after you choosing here, just include as a pending below. So this will be in pending state. Just navigate down and create a target group. Okay. You can even add, after creating a target group, if you want to add multiple EC2 instances to your target group manually, yes, you can do it. Just come here. Okay, targets, click on the targets, just here register targets is there. You can easily register from here. And suppose if you having any EC2 mission, uh, you don't want to keep in this target group, just deregister from here. Okay. Okay, so for now what I'll do, I'll deregister both the instances. Okay, so I don't have any instances. I'll go to my EC2 mission. And I will install the application, and then I will add EC2 missions here. So then we will verify whether my EC2 mission is working, my application is working perfectly or not in in my EC2 missions, that we will verify. So let me load this and go to my EC2 mission. First I'll connect to the server 1A, get the public IP of this, and just try to connect. Yes, connect. Okay. So I'll use the settings as change settings. Apply. Okay, I'll give just color here. Change settings. Close. Field foreground color. Modify. So just I'll give for this green. Okay. Just okay, apply. Okay. Now, so just I'm moving to root user, and now I'm installing application here. Installing m install nginx-y. Okay, so this package nginx is not available. So in Amazon Linux extras we have nginx 1 is there, that we need to install. Just copy that one and paste here. Okay, so it is asking to download or not. If you want to download, just give y, yes, confirmation. It will download. Now it is downloaded. Now what we need to do, we need to systemctl nginx status nginx. So nginx is not active because just now we have installed. We did not started this one. So to start this one, just use start nginx. So now it is started. You can re-verify the status. If you see here, now it is active and running. Okay, so let us go to here in browser. Just paste the public IP of that first mission. So we are getting this web page. Welcome to Nginx Amazon Linux 1. Okay, so same way we will just come to the server 2 and just take the public IP and just verify whether it is having the Nginx or not. It won't have. Why? Because we didn't install, right? Okay, let us install on this machine as well. So again same, use putty to connect this machine. Okay, so these are the putty configuration I'm using because already I have saved with this name on the backend, my credentials, everything. Okay, just to open this one. Yes, I want to use this key and I want to modify the settings for best visibility. Okay, now in the same mission again I'm moving to sudo su and just I'll copy. So history. If you type history, you'll get the what are the commands you have used previously. Okay, just you copy this command and right click on this one, it will install here. Just confirm yes. So it is installed. So just we will verify the status of Nginx. You can see here it is dead because we are not started this one. So just start Nginx, it will start. Okay, now it is started. We can verify the status. You can see here it is active and running. Now we will go to the browser and we will just refresh this page. It will come over Nginx. So now we have two machines is there and we want to distribute the load to the two running machines. So how can we do that? Yes, first we need to go to the targets EC2 mission, elastic load balancer, under target groups. We have targets. Here you can see here there is no targets as of now. What we'll do, we'll just register, add these two missions. Okay, two missions, include as pending below, and register as pending targets. Okay, so it is telling unused because we are not attached to any load balancer. Okay, until unless if you are attached to any load balancer, it will tell in unused only. For that one, what we need to do, we need to go and create a load balancer. To create load balancer, again same here in the drop down under load balancer, create a load balancer. Yes, if you see here, elastic load balancing supports 4 types of load balancer which we have discussed: ALB, NLB, gateway load balancer, and classic load balancer. Choose the load balancer whichever as per that you need. Okay, if you see here previous generation, this is the older one and it will support for HTTP, HTTPS and TCP UDP protocols. And if you see application load balancer, it will only supports for HTTP and HTTPS protocols. And if you use a network load balancer, it will support for TCP, TLS and UDP. And gateway is only used for IP load balancer. When you need to deploy any managed fleet of third-party VMs appliances that support the GenAway, that appliance is enabled to improve the security of from the load balancer. So for now, what we will do, choose an application load balancer when you need to flexible feature set of applications, web applications. So we'll go with this one. Give name to your load balancer. This is my ALB I'm giving. And you want to serve your content via internet or only intranet, that is internal to your company network, then you'll go with this internal option. So now I'm going to internet because now I'm accessing from the internet. What is the address type you want to take? So as of now we have taken IPv4 only, not IPv6 or dual stack. So listeners, this is the very important here. So a listener is a process that checks a connection request to the backend by using the protocol which we are defining that you have configured. So HTTP or HTTPS, two things we have. So HTTPS means definitely you need to use certificates. Okay, so for now we will use HTTP only. HTTP. Okay, HTTP is secure hypertext transfer protocol. This is plain HTTP. Okay, if you have multiple listeners, you can go and add with that. Okay, HTTPS also you can use. Okay, for one load balancer, multiple listeners also supported. This is the important one you need to consider. Availability zones, where your load balancer need to be distribute the traffic. In which availability zone your load balancer need to be distributed. So this is my custom VPC where my EC2 instances are running. So I have two availability zones because I have created two subnets only. Okay, by defaultly it is showing only two subnets because only I have created two subnets. So this is very important. Please remember, whenever you are creating your load balancer, you need to choose your load balancer to be reside on this subnet, that is public subnets, not in a private subnet. Okay, public subnets and private subnet we have already discussed. Okay, so choose the public subnet only. If you are choosing private subnet, your load balancer won't work. Okay, please keep in that mind. Next, configure security group. Okay, so they are giving a warning, you are using HTTP1. Okay, you just use HTTPS1 to secure your application more reliable and secure. Okay, next, configure security group. So same security group only I can use, or else I will use specific security group and specific protocols I will use in the security group also. Okay, this is where our load balancer distribute the traffic to backend target groups, right? So load balancer routes the request to the backend targets in the target group using the protocol which we are specifying. Okay, so if you are to create new target group, you can just give the name and protocol like as we created last time, but we don't want to. We want to use existing target group because already we have created. So once you are having existing security group, you don't want to create, this specify all the details. Just give the existing security group. It also performs the health checks. Okay, load balancer whenever it is sending a request means it will verify the health checks of the targets using the below settings which we have already provided to the target group. Okay, this will apply for the all the listeners, all the EC2 missions. Okay, just register the targets. Already we have registered the two targets. Okay, directly to the target group, or else now also we can target. Just we review the thing, whatever the details we have configured, just create this. So close this. Load balancer will take just few time, like few seconds or few minutes. So now it is in provisioning state. Okay, in the load balancer, in the description tab, you have your name of the load balancer and ARN. This is the DNS name. DNS name. Just copy this DNS name. This is where we need to verify with the application whether backend is working or not. Okay, see, this is not reached because still my load balancer is creating, right? And state is provisioning only. Application type load balancer and internet one and IP address type and what is the VPCs we have taken. So if you want to add one more subnet in future, yes, you can edit from here and you can modify the subnets here. Okay, there is no issues on that one. And security group also you can modify, and any attributes also you can modify. Edit attributes. See here, delete protection. So assume if someone came to here and in actions you have some options. If someone is trying to delete these options, okay, if you try to delete, it will delete by default. So instead of for that one, you just enable this edit attributes, just enable delete protection, just save it. Okay, if you are trying to delete your load balancer, if once you delete your load balancer, gone, that's it, there is no backup. Okay, then nothing will be there. You need to create new load balancer and you need to request your DNS provider to add this load balancer. Okay, so now I am deleting. Are you sure you want to delete the load balancer? Just I will refresh first. Yes, I have enabled, right? I'll verify. Yes, I have enabled. Okay, just delete. Yes, see here it is giving error, deleting my load balancer. It is protection is enabled, deleted cannot be deleted because delete protection is enabled. Okay, this is an important step you need to keep in mind whenever you are doing this one. Coming to next, listeners. This listener is added, we have added now. So if you see here, we have a concept called again additional listener, or else just click on this one, edit listener. Okay, if you want to modify any protocols, you can do that. Or if you want to add any additional subdomains or any additional target groups, yes, you have an option here, you can just add that also. No, yes, leave, I don't want to do that now. Okay, monitoring. Yes, from here you can see what is the response time of your load balancer and how many 500 errors or 5xx errors and how many 400 errors on this load balancer. You can verify how many errors it is from the fast hour or fast 24 hours or fast 2 weeks. Okay, integrated service. Under this integrated service, we have WAF, web application firewall. That is not configured now. Okay, web application firewall. This load balancer is not WAF enabled, so that is the reason it is not showing. So WAF is basically to prevent the specific IPs or specific regions to this to prevent the incoming traffic to this load balancer. Okay, so now this is active, and we need to verify uh, even the even we need to verify the targets also, target groups, whether these are the healthy or not. Okay, target groups, just refresh this, click on this, go to the targets. If you see here, both the instances are in healthy mode. Okay, this needs to be healthy. Until unless this is not healthy, our application won't work. If you see here, I'll just refresh on my load balancer, so it will give you. So welcome to the Nginx. So now load balancer is getting the response from the backend. So from where it is getting, we have two instances. This is also having same content, and this is also having same content. In real times it will be having same content only. It needs to be have same content. That is the where the application is configuring. Okay, assume you are hosting a website. Okay, like assume you are hosting a website called ICICI Bank one. You are trying to access ICICI Bank. You need to get the same page, ICICI Bank page. Your end users also accessing, they need to also get same ICICI welcome page in their console. So they don't want to get HDFC Bank page whenever they are accessing ICICI. So the backend, whatever the EC2 missions is there, where the application is running, that needs to be identical. Both same application only need to be run on that one. Okay, but as come when we comes to the load balancer, if you reload or if you do anything like a number of times refresh, it will give the same content, but it is sending the request to the two instances, both the instances it is sending. How we will verify whether the load balancer is sending to the both the targets or not? So what we will do, we'll just modify in the server level. Okay, we will get some interesting mm, Telugu comedy zif comedy zif okay. So we will copy first in server 1 cd user share nginx user share nginx html. Under this now just I'm just moving the directory. Okay, before I move, what I'll do, I'll just come out and I'll show you where I am now. So pwd, current working directory, present working directory, and just I'm using cd to move to this folder where our nginx application is working. So I will just verify now. So now I'm in this html one. Just I'll use this, and so if you list here, you have this one. So this index.html page is only displaying here in the whenever we are accessing in load balancer. You can see here, this is where we are getting. So now what we will do, we will just copy the image address. Okay, and we'll navigate to the server, use vi editor to edit anything in the any file. In Linux we will use two editors, vir nano. So just I'm using vi index.html. Okay, I'll navigate to the content where I want to modify this. Okay, you can see here. Okay, escape. You can see here, what is this? Welcome to Nginx on Amazon Linux, right? If you see, where is that? Welcome to Nginx on Amazon Linux. This one, right? Welcome to Nginx on Amazon Linux. Under this one, I'll add the chip, just for our understanding. Okay, how the load, whether the load balancer is distributing traffic to backend instances or not. Someone is joined. Okay, so we will modify now. Come on. Just in vi editor you need to press I to modify a file. Just I'll navigate here and I'll just use HTML tag, and I'll give the image address here, and I will close the HTML tag also. Use this. Okay, now just I'll come out and I will save this one. I will save this one and I'll navigate to another server. Same thing I'll do here. Just cd. I can directly also modify by using vi. See how I can modify that one. Just user share nginx under nginx html index.html. Just I can directly modify here also. Okay, just I have shown you just how to navigate to the folder in the previous server. So in this server, just press insert, go to the same where you want to have html tag h1, and this time we will copy a different image, different zip. So now we have copied this, right, and now we will copy this one, copy image address. Now just paste that one here and close this. Okay, once you are done, just save this one with the help of wq. Now I have came out. So let me verify in the both the servers. This is the server 1. Server 1 is, what is the content we are getting? Earlier we are getting this one. So now we will just refresh this one. Okay, some tag is missed, I think. So we'll verify here what is this problem. Okay, here also it is came. That need to be not like that. vi index.html. Let's go there. Okay, image tag. Okay, image tag, right? Need to HTML tag I used. Okay. I think. Okay, I have used HTML tag, so that is the reason it is the content is displaying for us in HTML. Okay, so I'll use image one. It will be good, right? Insert. Just delete this img space, and what is that they are using? Image space. Okay, source equals to and need to go and okay, escape WQ, and I'll verify in the server 1 again. Now you can see, right, in the server 1 we are getting this one. Now same way we will modify in the server 2 also. Okay, so earlier we have used HTML tag, that is the reason it is giving a plain text. Okay, sorry for that. Insert image space source. Escape WQ source space SRC. Okay, so we'll verify now in the second server. Okay, there is some space issue might be there. Let us copy this one. Okay, zip, let me copy this first there. So I'm using DD to delete this one. I am press insert and enter, go up, give a space, and now what I will do, I'll come here and I'll take the copy image address. Let's navigate to the second server. This one, under this quotes we will give that one. Okay, done. WQ. Now we will verify the second server. Now, okay, you can see right now that first server is having this guy Sunil and second server is having Ramananda. So just we are testing the load balancer whether it is distributing traffic to the backend targets. So this is one server and this is first server. So two servers we have having different content, but real times we will have only same content, because as I mentioned, if you are accessing your application, ICICI Bank application, it need to be open for ICICI Bank application for all the users. So for me it will open ICICI, for you it is opening HDFC. It is a faulty website. Okay, we need to have always same application in the backend, but in our case we are just testing the load balancer whether it is distributing the traffic to the backend machines. So as of now load balancer is having like old configuration. Just we will refresh one. So we got this one. So again same way, if you refresh here, yes, see, say next refresh it is went to the another server. Okay, in the same way it needs to be work for you also. Yeah, really in real time scenarios it will do like this only. It will distribute the traffic to backend the targets, how many you are having. It is not a issue, the 50 or 100 depending upon your application. Just you refresh this one, like whenever any user is setting, it will evenly distribute the incoming traffic to your backend targets. That is what I have said right here. So ELB, it will evenly distribute the traffic to the backend targets. Whenever any user is hitting from the internet, it will go to the DNS and it will go to the load balancer and it will send to the backend targets. Okay, that is how load balancer will distribute the traffic to the backend targets. Load to the backend targets. Got it? Okay. Now you can see here, this all we have installed in a public environment, right? Public subnet we have installed this one. Take this one, take this one, and this you can name it as public. Okay, this is the public subnet. So while creating, I have shown you, I have chosen from, I have created my EC2 instance in public subnets only I have created. Now real times our application won't work, won't we won't keep our applications, any our real applications, we won't keep our applications in public. Then how we will create these missions and how we will log into that missions, that also we will verify quickly here. Okay. Okay, assume this is your private subnets. So private subnets we don't access, right? We don't directly access. See, private, this is a private layer, this is private subnets. Under private subnets, again I am creating two EC2 missions again. Okay, come on. As of now we have created in public, and we have installed our public services in Nginx service in public EC2 missions. Now what we are doing, we are just creating two more EC2 instances, two more EC2 missions. EC2. Okay, so this is my I am having two more EC2 instances in my two public subnets, I mean private subnet now. Okay, so how we will test the connectivity? So what we will do now, just I'll copy paste that HTML content in somewhere in my notepad, and I'll use it for same second two servers. Okay, and escape. So public server, right, we have done. So public server, what is the difference between public and private here? So you are directly accessing this application and you are having directly internet access from the outside, so you are happily accessing this application. In private subnets, do we have internet? No, right? We don't have any internet directly to our EC2 missions. Then how we will do that? How we will do that? That is, we will test right away quickly. Okay, then what we will do, just navigate to your EC2 missions, EC2 mission, EC2 console, and go here, EC2 instances. Okay, launch instance, launch instance. Now just select same operating system whichever is feasible for you. Next, configure instance details, choose your VPC. This is the step you need to make sure you are using your private subnet in one availability zone 1A. Okay, as I mentioned in VPC class already, if you are choosing your private subnet, your subnet settings will be by default it is disabled because it is a private one. If you want to enable, you can enable also, but there is no use to enable. You can't connect to this mission with the help of public IP. Okay, that is your choice. So what we will do, we will enable for one mission, and second mission we will go with the default settings. Then we will see the difference between enabling or not enabling, non-enabling, both we will see. Okay, use the security group. Okay, these are you already know. Launch instance. So I just launched one EC2 mission. It is in private 1A. So what I will give for this server name is, okay, server, I'll give private private server in 1A. Come on, private server. What happened? Server in 1A. Okay, private server 1A. The same way I will launch another private server in 1B also. Why? Because we need to test the connectivity and we need to test how actually real we will have in multiple subnets. Okay, so why we are launching in two availability zones and two subnets in AZ1 and AZ2? Why we are calling as in AZ1 and AZ2 means our application 1A means 1A or 1B means it is one complete data center. If one data center goes down, another data center needs to be available. That is the reason our application we are distributing across the multiple availability zones for high availability. Okay, so here you need to choose private subnet only. This is in private subnet 2 in 1B. US is 1B. So now with this option we'll go with the disable option only and add storage, default one, add tags, add security groups, choose the existing one and just choose the security group, review and launch. While launching you need to give your key pair, existing key pair you need to give, or else you can create your key pair. It's the same one, same story again. Okay, now view instance, just navigate to in my instance console. So don't forget to terminate all the EC2 missions. Okay, after you completed your complete class. So now here I'm giving private server or private server. Come on, private server. Okay, private server 1B I'll give. Okay, what happened to this? I'll copy this or else copy and paste 1B. Okay, so now it is saved. Okay, how to connect to this private mission now? So we saw earlier how we are connecting. We are just taking this public IP of this mission and we are happily connecting. We are happily connecting to this mission. There is no issues for that. Now how we can connect to these private missions? Private mission. Okay, so let us wait for some time. Let us wait for some time. And so meanwhile what I will do, I'll go to the NAT gateway under VPC. I need to create a NAT gateway and I need to attach this to my private subnets. Until unless I can't install my Nginx application, I can't go to the internet. That also I will show you. And where is NAT gateway? Yes, here. So for NAT gateway we need one elastic IP. For that one they will charge for us. Don't forget to delete this one. So my NAT gateway, and always remember NAT gateway and elastic load balancer needs to be reside in public subnets only. Okay, or else your application won't work. Create NAT gateway. So I just created NAT gateway, just created it. I didn't do anything. Go to NAT gateways. Just it is in pending mode. Okay, let this come into available state or provisioned state. Okay, now go to the again NAT instances. Just refresh this one. This time one EC2 instance might be past health checks. So private server 1A. For this one we will connect now. So I said right, if you give public IP also there is no use. You are unable, you can't connect to the public IP address directly. So let us try first how to connect to with the help of public IP only. But we can't connect to that. Okay, just use putty. Just same how I am logging in. Load and give the IP address of this one. It will give a error. Okay, meanwhile what I will do, I'll just copy my public key. Where is my key? Yes, this is the key, right? Okay, control all copy. So I will log into that server with the help of my any one of the existing EC2 missions. So already I said right, already I said in the last class, if you see here, this is connection time dot. We can't connect to the public IP where our servers is running in the private, just useless. We are giving Just for your understanding, I given the public IP. It is not a required one. We need to connect to the private server with the help of private IP only. How we will connect? How we will connect? Already I mentioned within the VPC. Assume this is my VPC. This is my VPC. This is two subnets I'm having. In these two availability zones, two subnets, I have already communication is already established with the help of local routing, right? By defaultly, there is a connectivity established between these two availability zones. Within the VPC, the servers can communicate with the help of private IP address. Okay. First, we will connect to this mission with the help of private IP address. So for that one, I have used one server where it is in public subnet. So this mission, assume this EC2 mission 1. With the help of this mission, I am connecting to this EC2 mission. Okay. This is my server. So first, what I need to do, and okay, just I switch to my EC2 user only. Now what I need to do here, just create a file, create a PEM file. So what I will do, just vi key dot PEM file I'm creating here with the help of vi. If you don't have any file with that name key, if you are using vi, right, it will create also. Just it will edit and it will create. So just you copy this file, just insert, come on, escape. No, I don't want to save now because there is some mistake is there. Okay, now I just want to press insert and I just copied now wq. I copied now. So now I have my key here, ssh -i. What is the key file name? Key.pem. And what is the username we are using? EC2 user at the rate. What is the public IP of the server? I mean private IP, sorry, not public IP, private IP. You can get the IPR endpoint DNS name. Okay, it is asking, do you want to continue? Yes or no? I want to connect to that submission. Yes. It is giving some unprotected key. This is because of the file. If you list here, the file is having open to all also. So it is telling to protect this your key. For that one, what you need to do, change the permission of your file. So the file is now readable by others also and writable by other users also, root users, not by own. For that one, what we need to do, change the permissions of a file, particularly okay 400. Now it is changed to 400. That means just press list. Now you can see only my myself means easy to user only able to read, not also write. Then again what we'll do, we will use the same above command and we'll try to access this. If you see here, previously my server IP is this one. Now my server IP is 1246. That means now I have switched to my IP address. See, 246 IP address. Now I have connected. This is how I will we need to connect to the private missions with the help of one mission. In real time also we will use like this only. We will create one mission in public subnets, that is called jump host or bastion host we will call. With the help of that we will connect to the private based instances. So we will restrict the traffic in the bastion host to only private missions. Okay, there is no other traffic. Now again we need to install, right? Again we need to install nginx here. Sudo, not sudo, here what we will do, okay, sudo m install nginx 1, because nginx 1 is available in Amazon Linux 1. So if you see here, it is not installing. It is not installing because we are not able to go to the internet and we are unable to get the packages from the internet. Okay, just what I'll do, just I will do the ping also, ping google.com. We don't have internet to the server. Okay, how we will get the internet to the server? So NAT gateway we have created. So this NAT gateway we need to add into the our routing tables. Where we need to add into the routing table? Go to the routing table, go to the routing tables, choose your private routes. Private route 1 and route 2 is there, right? First you choose this server, go to the routes, edit routes. Already it is having only local routing. I said, right, locally it is communicated. Already we have connected to from that machine to this machine, communication is established. But we want to go to the internet. Now what we need to do, with the help of NAT gateway only, we will go and get the internet. Just save the route. I have saved the route. You can see here internet is started. Okay, now I will install. Now I will install sudo yum install nginx1. Now it is started installing. Earlier it was not started because of there is no nginx. Okay, something it is telling sudo m install nginx. There is some issue with the nginx package. Okay, we need to use this command, not m, because we are connecting with the Amazon Linux extras. So now we have installed. We have installed now. Now we have installed the nginx. Now we have installed nginx. Now we need to start the nginx. Sudo systemctl status. First we will verify the status nginx. So it is saying inactive and dead. So just simply you start this one, sudo systemctl start nginx. So we am starting the nginx. It is started. Now we will, if it is not started means it will give the error. It is not giving the error means it is started. We will again verify the status. Yes, you can see here the status is active and running. So now tell me, now here an nginx application is running. How we will access, how we will test this nginx whether it is running or not? Running or not, we will verify. We have verified already. How you will access this one? With the help of your public browser. So for previous instances, like assume this is server 1a. Okay, you just taken the IP of this public ip you have taken, and you went here in the browser and you pasted here. It is working perfectly, right? Now what do we need to do? What about the second server 1a? This is in private environment. If you copy this public ip, nothing here. Public ip is nothing. Public ip is nothing. Okay, that means you can't take private ips. Always remember, private ip is not reachable over the internet. You can't go and fetch with the private ip also. Then how you will access your application? Okay, this is how in our real-time environments we will host our applications. Okay, both the ips are unable to access the application. So that is where we are having a concept of load balancer, where we are installing that load balancer in public subnets, right? Okay, so let me complete same settings for same concept, same setup for second server in private subnet also. Okay, private environment. Then we will navigate to load balancer and we will modify the settings as per our requirement. Okay, second server private ip. See, I didn't enable that one, so I didn't get any public ip. Okay, in the same way what we will do now. Okay, before going there, what we will do, so nginx we have installed here. What we will do here, so vi, so we'll just modify the index tag also, and then we will come out from the server vi. So nginx, I think, sorry, user share nginx html index.html. So I need to use with the sudo, or else it won't ask we can't edit this one. Okay, just go to that html. Okay, press I for insert. Okay, just copy the tag which we have already copied to my server, from the server to here. Copy, just escape, save this one. Okay, we have saved this one, and we came out from this server also. Now we will go out from this 246. Okay, just press Ctrl D to came out. See, it is logged out and connection to, and now I'm in public server 188 is my public server IP address. You can see here 188 my public server IP. So now I want to log into private server with private IP. So this is again same concept, SSH hyphen space I and key file and username at the rate IP address. Yes, you want to first time you are connecting, right? Then it will ask to continue or connect just to verify the fingerprint. Yes, you can see 249 we have connected to 249 server. Okay, again here also we don't have any internet, I think, because we need to route the NAT gateway here also google.com. You just verify here. Yes, it is not there. Just go to your routing, go to the public route, private route routing table 2 and see edit routes. I didn't remove the this routing earlier, that is the reason it is getting black hole. Black hole is nothing but in Telugu ఏమంటారంటే కృష్ణ బిల్లము అంటారు అన్నమాట. ఓకే, yeah, so this routing is not there. I removed the NAT gateway and routing is not there, that is the reason it is coming as a black hole. So I will add new route now with the new NAT gateway, my NAT gateway, save routes, close. Now I have close saved. You can see now the server is started pinging. Okay, now internet is there. So in the private environment no one can access our servers. Okay, we can access internet, that's it. అదే చెప్తాం కదా. సో ఓన్లీ రిటర్న్ ద డ్రాగన్, ఎంటర్ ద డ్రాగన్ కాదు, బయట నుంచి ఎవరు ట్రాఫిక్ అనేది రాదు. ఓకే, నౌ sudo m install nginx. So it will give, okay, it is telling you need to go with the Amazon. So we are using Amazon Linux, they are having some Amazon repository, so we need to use the Amazon repository supported commands only, then it will install for us. Just press yes for confirmation. Yeah, here I am directly starting the nginx. I am not verifying any status here, already I have verified, right? In that one same command you can use systemctl nginx, not nginx, start nginx. Okay, it is started. Just we will verify status now. Status is active and running, you can see here. So quickly we'll go to vi sudo vi user share nginx nginx html index.html. so in this one we'll just modify this. Just insert and come here, tag take the any other tag, any another image one, and press insert, just enter, escape, wq, just to save this one. So I have now in both the servers, in both the private servers. Okay, so what I will do, in both the private servers I have nginx is running. So I don't want to 1b is running, so just I'll terminate that one. This is in private one, right? Just terminate this instance. Okay, so terminating is like that, you need to terminate the EC2 instance. Okay, now what I will do, I'll close all the test pages earlier one. Okay, and I'll only choose the load balancer one. Where is the load balancer here? Yes, go to the load balancer. This is the DNS name, right? I'll first go and verify. You will get this one because I have terminated the server, second server. Okay, now what I will do, I'll go to listener, and this is my target group. Just go to the target group where we are adding our EC2 missions. Okay, we are not adding directly to the load balancer, keep in mind this point also. And go to the targets. See, I have only one server. Okay, now what I will do, even this server also I will deregister. That means I am removing from this target group. Okay, now I don't have, this is in running mode. If it is in running mode, your application won't work. Okay, you just verify whether this is working or not. Okay, wait for some time. Yeah, see now this is telling temporarily service is unavailable. There is no servers, there is no servers in your load balancer. Now what we will do, we need to add two new servers which is in private servers. Okay, register targets. Okay, here we have right server A and server B, private server 1 A and server B, that you need to add to your target group. This is where we are adding manually. If you are using auto scaling group, you don't want to add this one. That also we will discuss in future upcoming classes. Okay, now it is in initial mode. Still it is in initial mode. It will take some time as per our target attributes we have configured earlier. Okay, we'll wait for some time. See now healthy is two instances are healthy. Two instances are healthy. These are the two private servers. I am not adding the public servers. You can go and you can verify here. Your application need to be running here. Okay, just verify. Right? You got the point. In real times, what we will do, we won't run any our applications here. We won't run our applications here. We will use one EC2 mission, one EC2 mission or two EC2 missions or three EC2 missions as per our requirement. Okay, as per our requirement we will use what we will do. So now load balancer is directly distributing traffic to these two EC2 missions. Okay, not to the public one, but whenever any user is there, any user, assume this guy is an user. Okay, user is nothing but you or me, anyone. Users, if you want to connect to this user to any EC2 mission, any private EC2 missions, first he is connecting to this EC2 mission, and then he is connecting from this mission to here, and from this mission to here. I hope it is clear. Okay, to test your application, we have used load balancer. This is the load balancer we have used, and we are just whenever we are accessing the load balancer with the load balancer endpoint, this is the load balancer endpoint. Okay, we are getting the application which is installed on our EC2 missions. So who will remember this entire name? Okay, if your client is coming and you are telling your client to use this name for your application. Okay, if you are nearer, no, he will hit you. Okay, for this one we will use domain names, that is the DNS name. We'll assume www.google.com, www.amazon.com. That .com will be pointed to this load balancer DNS name. In that one we will discuss in the next classes whenever we are discussing about AWS Route 53 or any other DNS providers, right? Yes, any doubts? This is how actually load balancer and backend applications will work. Again we will see load balancer whenever we are discussing about auto scaling group. With the help of auto scaling group, what we will perform, we will apply a load onto the missions and we will automatically launch the EC2 missions, and it will directly add EC2 missions to the stack where our application is running. That is again it is a one big concept. We need to a very interesting and a very good and important topic we are discussing in future classes. Yes, that's it for today. I will share this video to you guys. Just go through this and practice this one. If you have any doubts, please let me know. You guys first practice in public environment. Once or twice you practice. So for to practice this one, what all you need? You need an VPC and you need at least two public subnets, two private subnets. Okay. Everything first you need to establish your VPC communication like in the private and public both, and you need to test the connectivity between all the servers with the help of NAT gateway. Also you need to do that one.